off.
Yeah.
I like your mom.
It just sounds horrible.
if used in the singular to refer to a woman of loose sexual virtue, it should be strung out ever so slightly as well. You slag.
Oh, nice. Well, I think so too.
So our sound is horrible. Is that what you said?
Yes, your
You're
sound
you're
is all
crappy.
horrible. Yeah.
Black cock.
Did they tell you about Black Hawk?
You didn't, but I read about it. I read it online. Ed told me about it.
He knows about Black Hawk.
I talk about my black cock all the time.
Is it better if I do my hand like this? Do you think you can see us talking?
You know, Ed, we have something in common. Christmas, I got to play with a lot of cock. In fact, I was actually cocking, but it was not the Christmas cock I wanted. It was white and thin, and my father, and here's the gross part: my father's shower.
Wow, you played with black cock in your father's shower.
I said it was thin and white.
Oh, sorry about that. Black Hawk is the best.
All right, I haven't tried it yet.
I haven't found a place I would put it.
Any cock it works, right? Any cock and storm, is that how it goes?
Yeah, any cock in the storm.
Cheap stuff is not going to work in a storm.
This is interesting because I'm wondering if it might have a beneficial effect for me because I've read you can get pens that will recolor your cock.
What color would you like to?
I've always wondered what I'd look like with a black cock, to be honest. I'm just wondering if it'd stand out too much against all the white.
I suppose it'd be better than green. Or yeah.
So there's an area just outside London called Essex, which has a reputation for producing both men and women of very loose moral sexual virtue.
We live in Essex County.
Yeah, well, there's a joke that where an Essex guy goes to the doctor and he says, I'm a bit worried that I might have an STD because I've got these nasty green circular marks next to my ball sack. So the doctor says, well, drop your trousers and I'll take a look. And he bends down and examines him for a few seconds and he says, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is you don't have an STD. The bad news is your girlfriend's earrings aren't real gold.
That's a head fuck. Let me ask you guys real quick. Which can you hear better? Or?
First.
Okay.
Yeah,
so the microphone's up here, yeah?
Well, we knew that.
Well, I'm making sure it's the same when we're on Skype. But we're out of the back area now, so the signal should be better and you should be able to hear us better.
Your audio is a bit clearer than it was before. You're less tinny, still breaking it slightly occasionally, but the quality's better.
By the way, we're streaming.
Oh, are we live on Twitch?
I decided this was just too damn good to pass up, so, you know.
Okay, fair enough. Why not? Yeah.
Let me get my face.
My new ring. Can you see my new ring?
I can see your nipple.
There's your nipple.
Here, give me that.
Doesn't Twitch say you're not allowed to show your ring on camera?
Is that for small?
Oh.
Guess what I got in the post today?
What was
it, a penis?
There should be tape in there, double-sided tape.
Yep.
Tape it, baby.
The funny thing is, right before you said we're streaming right now, I was thinking this would be a great conversation to listen to on Twitch. Then you're like, we're streaming right now.
Oh.
That's the other ring.
Oh.
Giggling.
It's Twitch.
She's got bling.
It's Green Lantern. The other one was Superman.
we're driving right now, so everything's going to be a little wobbly, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
That happens after 40 anyway.
Especially when you're driving home. Potato, when you're having sex and you bend your dick. Like
Doesn't
just
that
slamming
hurt
in.
like hell? Damn.
You know, usually I've caught it before we fold it directly in half, but yeah, it's not a pleasant thing.
It almost hurts as bad as kicking the bottom drawer closed on your dresser and getting it caught in there.
This is why I don't put my dick in the bottom drawer of your dresser. I swallowed wrong. Thanks, Ed.
I've been with a couple of women where I kind of felt like I should fold it in half.
Now we're cooking. Okay, now I'm watching Twitch and us broadcast. My camera still sucks, but hey, you know.
Yeah, mine too. So if you're out there watching on Twitch, buy us some new fucking gear. There's a Kickstarter.
Post a Kickstarter link.
Yeah, post a Kickstarter.
bit.ly/Tavern Booster.
You too can boost the tavern.
That's right. Help get us some fucking decent equipment for everybody.
Oh, she's gone.
No, I'm here. Oh shit.
This is why we need money, people. Give us some fucking money so we can improve our gear. Our electronic gear. Not that gear.
Yeah. Cover medical bills for dresser traps.
Okay.
Let's do that. Then go over there. Look at me being all awful, guys. Makes a change, eh?
You work it.
I'm trying.
There's a lot going on right now.
The first thing we're going to do is get everybody some fucking 50-foot data cord.
Yeah.
There we go.
Right.
Oh.
I happen to like the length of my data cord the way it is.
75, right?
There we are.
Is that 220?
Amps, that is.
Plug it in.
I just remembered as well. I can't believe I've never done this. Travis, I'm going to stalk you on Google Earth.
Oh.
Stalker.
Damn right.
My stuff with Skype is like Travis is on the move. Track his little fucking ass.
No, not literally, yeah.
Hey, Ed, look. I'm black.
So I worked with kids today. We made a zombie film with these school kids, and it's about bullying. And all the zombie kids bully this girl who, instead of getting ugly like they are, is getting pretty. And they surround her in a circle chanting, pretty, pretty. Okay. So today, they got me on video because they're kids, right? I mean, they're 4th, 5th graders. And you're just trying to herd cats, which is difficult enough. But these cats are holding $1,000 pieces of equipment, and you're trying to make a film that makes sense. And the kid is standing there, you know, looking at the camera or looking over here. Ooh, we lost them. Oh, they're there. So they got me on camera saying, the kid says he's holding the boom, which is the long pole with a microphone. You know?
The long black pole with the microphone.
The long black pole.
Starting them off young, aren't you?
Okay, so he says to me, I'm tired of holding the pole. And you hear me say, that's too bad. Suck it up, Buttercup. Actually, I think I just said, oh, are you tired? And then you hear me kind of instruct him, like, okay, look, your stance isn't right. You need to bend your knees, this and that. You need to hold the pole at your hips, right? Hold it at your hips, the center of gravity. This is where people shoot from, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I lost my job.
Hey, Travis.
Got a job at 4.
Does your place have a red roof or a bluey-green roof?
Gray.
Cool. I think I just found your house.
You might have.
Might have, if the address is accurate.
Is there 500 cows?
Is just to one side of my house piles of trash and a dump truck or two.
Yeah, possibly. By your neighbor, there's like what looks like an old vehicle with a wooden frame back on it.
That'd be it. They froze. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. And right next to his house on the other side is just a group of trees.
Yeah, found it.
Yep.
I've got you. I'm stalking you, baby.
Yeah, they're gone.
That's all right. And they were never heard nor seen from again.
I like the fact that I'm on Street View, so there's shit to look at. And then I look at the map in the corner here, and there's nothing on it. And I zoom out quite a way, and there's still fucking nothing on it.
Nothing on it. Yep.
Welcome to buttfuck nowhere.
Yeah.
Just a guy on his porch with a shotgun.
Yep, that's it. And a couple of cows.
If you know where to look, there's a woman with her tits out on the island on Google Street View. Flashed the car as it went past. They blurred her out though.
So how's your sister doing?
She's good. Yeah. It's the closest she's ever got to genuine attention.
15 seconds of
look,
fame.
right, I just went the other way down the road to the other side of his neighbour's house, and yeah, there's a big rig with what looks like a load of fucking wood pallets and shit on the back of it. Oh yeah, and another one. Christ, he looks like he's got a fucking yard full of truckers next door to him.
He's such a giggler. It's so funny.
Wrong that I'm looking at this picture and I can hear banjos playing in my head.
Elizabeth.
Sir.
I owe you an apology. The first night we were trying to get you on here as Pickle Lady, and everybody logged off, and it was just you and me. Just as you got ready to say something, I ended Skype. Monday night, everybody else logged off, and just as you got ready to say something, I ended Skype. I was like, God damn, she's going to think I hate her or something.
You know, you're not the first, you won't be the last.
I was like, damn, my time is not the best in the world right now.
You fucking asshole, I've been waiting here. So who is that? Who is it? Are they trying to click again?
They're at their destination.
No worries. I live in New York. On a daily basis, I'm called cunt, asshole, fucking white cracker. I mean...
Wow. Those kids are hard to teach.
Yeah.
No worries. Thank you. It's delightful. No. You got to earn it. No, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling Travis that this is one of the few times I've actually relaxed. Normally, when I'm around people, I just always try to hold it in and not just goof off and be silly. So thank you very much, gentlemen. It's fun to be with here.
Our pleasure.
Mm-hmm. I drank too much Fireball on Monday. I was so hungover Tuesday. I was teaching children, and I wanted to record it in the cafeteria where they're eating. It was just it was like it was hell. It was a hangover. Just oh god.
It's like, don't do this at home, kids.
So tea it is. Maybe a beer at the start and then tea. Well earned. Well earned.
Damn right.
Well, maybe one Fireball. Maybe one.
Just the one.
It's just the way.
Damn, you're making me thirsty.
I do that. I am the enabler. That is my superpower.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't actually sat here just doing a mental reconnaissance of what booze is in the kitchen.
I'll do
my
that.
power is international.
Ed's off, look. Someone's been. Ed needs no excuse. He's got a whole fucking bar at home. It's not like me. He's not poor. I'm like, have I still got a couple of beers in the bottom of the fridge? There's a bottle of wine left kicking around from Christmas somewhere.
You need to get
It's half one in the morning. You got to have that mental wrestle with yourself when you're considering opening a bottle of wine at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, that's pretty late. That's pretty late. Although you could always have a small one or mix it with water.
I'm just thinking. Fuck it. I'm not until 2 tomorrow.
That's right.
It's not like I had anything important planned for the morning. I could just stay up, get drunk, talk to some Americans online at an ungodly hour in the morning, and then just sleep all morning like some kind of.
You don't want to be the only sober one. I mean, that would be rude.
I'm going to wait for Ed to come back, and then I'm going to go on a recon.
It's okay. Yes. I can't be alone. I know how to handle it.
It'd be ungentlemanly of you to leave you unaccompanied. I was better than that. Never abandon a lady.
Okay, well, here we go. All right, so how about something delicious you had or made recently?
Oh, wow, okay. Something delicious I had recently. My friend owns like a Tex-Mex takeaway place, and he does the most amazing burritos, which is not something we eat very often. So his place has got to move soon. He's got to shut for a little while. He's had the usual bullshit. One of his neighbours has been moaning, so he's moving the business from where he is to a ready-made shop in town. So they're going to be closed for a few weeks while they shift all the gear. So we treated ourselves before he's around for a bit.
Oh.
Something I made recently. It's been a while. Where I could say I made something where I'm like, wow, look at that. Because I work for a chain. So it's the same stuff every day. We get a certain amount of latitude. That there's certain things we make push on the menu, but it's not like when I used to work in high-end restaurant catering where you used to have a plate of food and you wanted to take photographs of it before you sent it, that kind of thing. I do Ready Steady Cook challenges every now and then. Do you guys have that program or a format of that program?
I'm not sure. I don't think we do. I don't watch a lot of TV.
The basic concept is you have 2 celebrity TV chefs and then 2 members of the public, and the members of the public are given a budget of £10, and they go and buy a shopping bag full of food and bring it along to the studio. And then the 2 chefs have the ingredients that their member of the public has brought, plus access to a communal larder of stuff. And then they have 5 minutes thinking time and 20 minutes cooking time, and they have to knock up whatever they can out of the bag of stuff. That's the show anyway. Well, I've been doing this for years with my friends, where I just go, right, go to a supermarket. You've got a maximum budget of £10. Buy some food, bring it around my house, and using the crap you've bought me and stuff out of my own cupboards, I'll knock up a meal for us. It's been fun in the past. I've had friends turn up with bags full of completely odd shit where they're trying to stitch me up. I had someone come up and said a tin of alphabetti spaghetti and some fish roe and all kinds of odd shit in their bag. Still managed to make a 3-course meal out of it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I would, when we are together, perhaps in the future, nearer, I would gladly take part in that challenge.
Yeah, I love doing it. It's a great
sounds
laugh.
like fun. Yeah. I'm not sure how well I'll do, but
it normally takes me more than 5 minutes thinking time. Especially if someone's trying to throw you a curveball. That bag I mentioned before, I took the alphabetti spaghetti and I washed the tomato sauce off of it. So I just had plain pasta shapes. And then I took a little bit of double cream I had left in my fridge and the tin of fish roe and I boiled those up together with a little bit of dried tarragon and made like a slightly aniseedy flavored fish velouté, and then folded the pasta through it with a little bit of diced fine green pepper, and then served that on toasted brioche as the starter.
That's good.
It's black. It's not
No,
necessarily.
that's fabulous.
It's fuck you. You thought you were going to stitch me up. I'm finding a way of including this tin of shit, even if it kills me.
I told a friend this evening, his name's Don, he's a filmmaker, director. I said, Don, anytime I watch your work, I realize that I know nothing about editing. I get paid to edit, but he's that good. What you just said, Kevin, I realized, like, I may be able to cook a good meal. It makes people happy, but I don't really know cooking. I'll still take part. I'll still join in the fun, but damn, dude. Damn.
I've been doing it for so long now. It's kind of like second nature. So I've had jobs where I've walked into a completely strange kitchen and I've been up and running by lunchtime. You know, it depends on the job a little bit, but yeah, once you get the skills in there, it's a bit like riding a bike. You know, some skills get rusty when you don't use them for a while, certain prep techniques or whatever. But you know, if it's been 4 years since the last time you made fresh pasta, then it might not be the first batch that makes it to the public. It might be the second or the third until you get your eye back in, that kind of thing. But yeah, I enjoy it. After 22 years of doing it, I still get a kick out of making food for people. So if you don't, it's one of those trades. If you don't love what you do, you don't stay in it very long.
Oh, so much standing and, you know, holding and stirring. I could just, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. A bit surprises some people, actually. They're like, come on, you're cooking a meal. I do that at home. I was like, yeah, you make one meal for like 3 or 4 people. I'm simultaneously making 60 different meals for 30 or 40 different people, all going out at different times, and all of that is in my head.
Yeah,
that's the difference. There's a big difference between being able to cook and being a chef, and unless you kind of had an insight into the industry, whether that's working as a member of the waiting team or on the bar, or you've been somewhere where you've watched chefs in an open kitchen at a restaurant, it is kind of a hard thing to try and convey to somebody just how much you're running around like a fucking blue ass fly all day.
that, and you know, you're not just standing on your feet, which sucks because, you know, you're not 18 anymore. None of us are.
Especially
and you're
when you're
stirring and lifting and moving and fuck over hot shit that will burn you or cut you.
Oh yeah, nearly killed myself once.
Intentionally?
Literally very nearly. I doubt you can see it with my shitty camera, but on the inside of my wrist here, hang on, let me see if I get this new camera. There's a scar here that runs up the inside of my wrist.
Okay.
You just about see the little pale white line there above my finger.
Right. Okay.
Like,
Yeah. Right there. Okay.
You know the big, like, floor standing, we call them Hobart mixers, but the kind of mixer that will mix up like 30, 40 kilos of bread dough. So it's a big, heavy,
okay.
you know, the kind of thing. So I was working breakfast at a posh hotel, and one of my jobs while I was making breakfast was to make the bread dough for the pastry section, so that it already had time to prove. So when they arrived at 9 o'clock, it's ready to knock back, shape up, and throw in the oven. So I've just made 30 odd fucking kilos of bread dough, and I go to take the bowl off and go and cover it and stand it somewhere warm to let the dough rise, and the damn bowl won't come off. It's jammed onto the spigot somehow, and you've only got like a couple of minutes once it finishes mixing to get it covered and warm, or you start to lose all the moisture from it, and if it's not warm enough, the yeast won't activate and your bread doesn't rise properly.
Chemistry,
so I'm racing against time. Yeah, I've tried kicking the damn thing free, everything. In the end, almost like a kind of Olympic weightlifter stance, I stood over it, grabbed the handles, and just did like a clean and jerk motion like that. And of course, the bowl snapped free. My hand shot up into the air, and you know you've got like a curved splatter guard that goes against the top of the bowl. Just caught the corner of that as it slammed up. It caught the corner and it tore my wrist open there. And I started spraying claret everywhere, decorating the walls with some nice bright red blood. And so they called an ambulance for me, and they applied pressure, took me to hospital, stitched it up. As they were stitching me up, they've got one of those little privacy curtain things, like a little curtain on stands with my hand the other side of it. And the guy says to me, "Are you squeamish?" I'm like, "No, not at all." He's like, "Do you mind if I move this screen out of the way? I just want to show you something interesting." So he moves the screen. There's this rip in my wrist with all the fat bubbling out either side of it. He gets this little pair of forceps, rams it in the cut, and just pulls it open. He's like, "You see that dark red twitching line in the bottom there?" So yeah, he's like, "That's the main artery in your wrist." He said, "And there's actually a very, very tiny break in the surface of it. So it's literally about 0.5 millimeter away from severing an artery. And given the time it took the ambulance to come and collect me and take me to hospital, they reckon if I had nicked it just slightly deeper, there's a good chance I'd have bled out before I got there." So yeah, I nearly killed myself on my job.
Cool.
Now, the important question is, did you ruin the dough?
I saved the dough. The dough was gone. As soon as I'd saved the dough, apparently, I don't remember loads because I went into shock, but apparently I had enough intelligence to sit down on the floor so that if I passed out, I wouldn't fall over and also smash my head. And then I kind of held my hands above my head to keep the blood flow down and over a sink to catch the blood, and was holding my wrist with a bit of bandage on it, keeping pressure on it. And I started to go into shock, and they were trying to get me to get up and get into the ambulance when it turned up for me. And all I kept saying was, "But if I leave, who's going to cook breakfast?" I don't remember any of this. I was mocked relentlessly for this afterwards. I go, "Oh, Kev, he's sat on the floor fighting. He still won't leave the fucking kitchen until there's someone to relieve him to cover breakfast."
I thought you were going to say, "And as I slumped upon the ground, my body hunched over the dough, warming it." As
I saw the spirit of Gordon Ramsay surrounded by a halo of bright light. And he said, "It's not your fucking time, boy. Fuck off out of here."
Bacon. That's a fabulous story.
I love those Gordon Ramsay quotes. I know a guy, one of my best friends actually went to work for him, and he's actually a complete puppy dog in real life. He just plays up to that image because it sells a lot of TV shows.
I remember I was at a festival in Wales, a film fest, and by the second day, I got so horribly sick with something. I was in my hotel room, and it's costing me, 200 pounds a day or whatever euros, and I just couldn't get out of, I got out of bed to get stuff at the breakfast buffet and brought it back to my room, and that was it. And one of the shows I watched, besides a lot of documentaries about badgers,
Springwatch.
What? I think a dart show. I watched something on Gordon Ramsay, and he was with a woman from India who was a chef living in London, and they were delightful to each other. And I kept, refocusing and reading. That can't be Gordon Ramsay, because in America he's always screaming at people.
But the thing is, when Ramsay was in his early 20s, the first TV series he ever did was kind of a fly-on-the-wall documentary for Channel 4 here in the UK. It was called Boiling Point. You can find the original series actually on YouTube in, I think, 6 parts. What happened was he'd just finished kind of his training, if you like. He'd been in France learning from people like Michel Roux. He'd just come back. He was just opening his own first Michelin star. Well, it wasn't Michelin starred then, but his first restaurant of his own. He just got married to his wife Tana. She was expecting with their first 2 twins. His new father-in-law, who was a businessman in the city, had loaned him all the money to open Aubergine, which was his first restaurant. So he was under, for a guy in his early 20s, a phenomenal amount of pressure at the time.
That's true.
And Channel 4 offered him a decent amount of money for the series, and so he thought, great, this will help offset some of the costs of opening the restaurant and get us great exposure. But because he was under so much stress, he was literally on the verge of a breakdown, cracking up, screaming and shouting at people, throwing stuff across the kitchen, because his whole reputation and his financial livelihood rested on this thing doing well. and the public just reacted massively to it. And they just loved this angry, sweary, shouty chef who called people a cunt and threw things across the room. And so when they made the second series, they asked him to play up the character, and he's just carried on building it, and it's kind of become his TV persona now. It
works, and I can relate. These fucking kids, this fucking asshole, fucking asshole.
One of my favourite Ramsay quotes ever is, "There's so much fucking oil on this dish, the US are trying to invade it."
Say that again?
One of my favourite Ramsay quotes is, "There's so much fucking oil on your dish that the US are trying to invade your plate."
Okay, that's a good one. That's good.
We just picked up a viewer. I can't tell who it is. I'm on my iPad, so I don't know. Hey,
Someone's
whoever
talking.
you are.
Creeper. How you doing?
Somebody creeping.
Oh, sweet.
There is some, I don't know if you've seen this, again, something to scribble down and watch later if you've never seen it. There's a clip on YouTube which is John Legend sings Gordon Ramsay.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like a spoof advert for an album of John Legend singing the greatest insults of Gordon Ramsay, and Ramsay joins him for a little duo at the end of the advert. But yeah, definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it. Have you seen the thing? Oh, hang on. I'm going to have to link you this one because it's one of my favorite YouTube videos ever. There is one of Gordon Ramsay where one of those splicing guys takes the clips of Ramsay giving various insults and instructions on his programs.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, please.
We got another creeper just joined us.
All right.
Word. Speak up, people. Don't just creep. Talk to us.
I'll post it to you guys on Skype, but I'm going to throw it in Twitch as well, because if you're listening to the conversation, you might as well join in with the fun of what we're talking about. So,
come on, join us, one of us.
Let's throw this up in Twitch first. This is the video I'm referring to. This is Gordon Ramsay Talks Dirty. And I will join us. Dun, 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 dun. And there
when
it is.
When the cats are away, the mice shall play.
We'll be bad kids tonight.
Let's do it. All I got to do is stay up all night and market to producers.
I'm going to go and grab a coffee. I'll give you a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Don't do a coffee. Have a drink. Come on.
Oh, okay. I'm going to see what there is.
You don't want to be the only sober one.
Peer pressure, peer pressure, peer pressure.
One of us. So yeah. So you're flooring the whole house. How's your back? How are your backs holding out?
Okay. It's my knees. I've been down on my knees more than a 14th Street DC whore.
I was going to say, sound like a woman. Do you wear knee pads at all? I mean, seriously.
They're getting away. I have started out with them several days and just yank those bitches off and throw them in the corner. So, yeah, I'm going to make a YouTube video after it's all done telling people,
well,
how to do your own in-home flooring. And I'm going to lay out, all the tools and equipment you need, and the flooring and everything, and then say, call a fucking professional. You don't want to do this shit yourself. Never again. Travis is talking to us. What's he saying?
He's up to no good. I hope he's bringing beer.
He's sending pictures.
I took pictures of you.
Creepy Kevin. Okay.
That was me. I was taking pictures to let him know what we're up to.
Ah, okay. All right.
Because the screen is at a certain angle, so there you go.
Yeah, that is creepy.
Well, perhaps newer cameras will be in the future.
All right, who's creeping on us, people? Talk. Speak up. Don't just sit down there and creep. It's fucking Thursday night.
Yeah, baby, found some beer.
Yeah.
You go, boy. Peer pressure.
Cheers.
I left an event a friends were throwing, the ones that throw the film festival, and the pizza hadn't even gotten there yet. And I finished the editing, and I had to come here. And then we started late. I was like, son of a bitch. Free pizza. Is there anything better than free pizza? Well, sex. Well, free good sex. Free good sex with a beer. Is there anything
Any sex is better than no sex at all.
Free good sex with a pizza delivery woman.
I'm just saying.
Who knows what she's doing? Yes. They don't know what they're doing. No anchovies. No.
Plenty of extra sauce.
Extra. All right, right
Cream sauce pizza.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
When I'm in the mood, yes.
Yeah. See, I don't get this whole pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. Surely a pizza is, frankly, I've been in Italy. Trust me, a pizza is anything they put on dough. I've seen some fucked up pizzas.
I don't like pineapple on my. I like meat on my pizza, and I don't like sweet meat, so no pineapple on my pizza.
Bitter table for one. Bitter table for one. I understand, and I appreciate that. There's about the delicate dance of sweet and the sharp of sour.
Did your mic just come unplugged?
No, did it?
I don't know.
Am I still talking? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Okay, that's
you
better.
went a bit quiet.
Yeah, it got quiet.
I like the salt versus sweet so much that I've influenced 2 pizza parlors in my neighborhood now where not only will they make the Hawaiian with the Canadian bacon, ham, whatever they have with pineapple, but on top they'll put pepperoni. So you get super sweet, tang, and salt just clashing. Not all the time.
No, pineapple with ham, I kind of get that, or bacon as a combination, but I like it with something that's a bit spicy. Like some sweet chili chicken or some pepper beef or something like that.
Good idea.
Yeah, that whole kind of Asian hot, sweet combination going on.
I know a chick like that.
Yeah, where is Kato these days?
I have a video of Kato.
Kato, if you're randomly out there watching, Ed misses your ass drifting past in the background.
I told her that just the other morning.
In the shower. Did you tell her, or did you nudge her?
No, it was on Facebook. He poked her.
Dirty boys. Dirty boys. All right. Anything else? What else we got going on, gentlemen?
Well.
Kevin's playing with his cock.
Lucky
I'm trying to encourage out all our secret viewers.
Yeah. But they do not want to come out and play.
Aw, bless. They're shy.
So we know it's not Bob.
Yeah. Yeah. If Bob was here, he'd be straight up in the conversation trying to even up the black-white ratio.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you know Bob from, Ed?
I actually used to work for him.
Oh, right.
And it was a challenge.
He's one of those bosses, was he?
You could not go into his office and have a serious conversation at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're like always cracking jokes and stuff. See, that's all right. That's not a bad boss, really. Unless your boss happens to be like a air traffic controller or something.
Yeah, he was such a kid.
I've always shied away from like doing those DNA tests because what the fuck do they ever tell you anyway?
Exactly.
You're 23% Norwegian, and you still get out of the same bed every morning.
Well, I had a friend that did one, and she was highly upset because a grandparent or a great grandparent was supposed to have been Native American. And she did the DNA test, and it came back that she had no Native American blood in her whatsoever. And she's like, my great-great-grandfather was... And I was like, you're assuming he was your great-great-grandfather.
Yeah, they didn't have DNA testing. That was all taken on faith.
Well, it's like reincarnation. Everyone in their past life was a princess. A dude or a mighty person of power. You were a nobody, like most of us are. Probably died a tragic death on the Oregon Trail.
You guys know what the Doomsday Book is?
Yeah.
Right. Basically, my dad used to be into genealogy quite a bit. It's not so much of a hobby of his anymore, but he traced the family tree for a while. And he managed to find one link of our family that he traced all the way back to the Doomsday Book.
Oh, wow.
To a guy who had the most amazing name of Blaze Bailey.
Blaze.
Yeah, spelt with a Y. Blayze.
Oh, we picked up another viewer. Hey, whoever you are.
Hey.
Jump
Mr.
on and say hello.
They're all creeping in the background. I feel like we should have like a soundtrack like Lonely Island's The Creep. That beer's going down way too easy.
That's the first one. Welcome to the pool.
And what time do you have to be at work tomorrow?
Not till 2. Not till
2. Otherwise, I wouldn't be drinking at 2 in the morning. Who am I kidding?
Hangover.
The fact that you guys are here talking to me means I'm drinking less than I would have been if I was sat on my own.
We're slowing him down. We are saving him from himself.
I'm thoroughly impressed that in 5 years of broadcasting, I've only ever actually been on the show once whilst under the influence of alcohol.
You know, I don't believe it. Go sell those apples somewhere else.
I've had a couple of drinks like everybody else, but I've never got into a state apart from when we, for some strange reason, decided to do a show on Christmas Day. Which is a bad idea because that was 1 a.m. coming out of Christmas Day into Boxing Day for me. And I had friends round and I was shit-faced.
We actually did a show recently that I actually woke up with a hangover the next morning.
Agreed.
Wow.
I can still drink like I used to. I just can't recover like I used to.
Yeah.
Just go back and look at past shows, and whichever one that I was talking a lot, that was the one.
I'm so looking forward to that show we've got coming up on the Bill of Rights.
Oh.
That might be fun. We'll make it fun.
It'll be educational for me as well. It's not something we Brits have a tendency to learn a lot.
I'm not sure how to say it. I was surprised, maybe a touch disappointed about your police going over Twitter and arresting people on hate speech or investigating it. That's surprising.
Especially from a country that's essentially becoming like Orwell's Big Brother day by day.
Yes.
We are the most surveilled nation in the world in terms of numbers of cameras per populace. We've just the government introduced something recently that was called the colloquial common name for it is the Snooper's Charter, which is a whole raft of new powers for the government in terms of them not only being able to snoop into your internet activity, but to share that information with other intelligence gathering communities as well. So yeah, you can only assume when you see the British police doing something positive like that, that it's basically a left-hand, right-hand thing. Is, hey, look at this good thing we did here, and give us that.
It's like playing poker when you give up 3 and you ask for 3, but they give you 2. You know? They're always taking an extra, a little bit more. Yeah.
No, if I'm playing poker, if she asks for 3, she's getting at least 6.
Deal. All right. You know, once they take a right, they don't want to give it back. That's for sure. That's for sure. Wow. I've been I caught Katie Hopkins a few times on the YouTube.
Oh, I wish someone would catch her, preferably in a fucking bear trap. What a cunt. I just say right now, if you're out there listening, Katie Hopkins, you are a vile, despicable cunt. That's coming from a man who lives in a nation of cunts. We are people who've taken the definition of the word cunt and dragged it to new depths of horrific descriptiveness, and you surpass every definition of it. Fucking leech, that woman. She should be slashed all over with razor blades and thrown to a tank of piranha.
So, how do you really feel?
Yeah. You're holding back there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not overly keen on her. She just, for me, she's kind of like, they took everything bad and vile and nasty about the British psyche and kind of boiled it up and concentrated it into one bitter, vitriolic bitch.
Isn't it the year of the bitch? Isn't that what the year was?
Since that cunt started posting in social media, it's felt like the decade of the bitch.
Now, if I may respond, if I may retort.
By all means.
All right. I've been in New York. It'll be 2 years in March. And I've never met, well, besides more racist people, but we'll get on to that, more females who are so cruel, and I guess you would say cuntish, since I moved up here. They are just absolutely horrible to not only men, but to other people, especially people who don't agree with them. Especially people who don't agree with them. So, and I think that's just where we are right now. I think people think that they have to act so overtly obnoxious and loud and pushing the line that gentilism is, I find I tend to lean towards people who whisper than people who scream at me.
I've been saying for ages, I think the internet's got a lot to blame for this. Because with the advent of things like instant messaging...
Bob Dole.
With social media communication, because you're not face-to-face with someone, because you don't have the delay of writing a letter, because it's instantaneous. So it's like having a face-to-face argument with someone, but without any of the consequences, because the person you're talking to can't hit you, can't touch you, can't threaten you, all the things you might be conscious of when you're having a conversation with someone to their face. Oh, I better not say that, because that might wind him up and we might end up in a fight. People have none of those barriers. So on the internet, we've got used to just being fucking vile to each other, far more than we ever would be in actual conversation with real human beings, because we're sat at home as fucking keyboard warriors. The problem with that is it's become so widespread and so accepted as a norm, people now are starting to do it in real life. And now we genuinely are starting to be rude and vile and vicious to each other out in the open where everyone can see it, because we've spent decades being used to being able to do it on the internet. It has greatly increased the frequency with which I have to smack a bitch.
There went our ratings.
If they ain't smacking back, they're not a true bitch.
In the age of equality, I'd like to state that the word bitch there is definitely non-gender specific. I've met plenty of men who are more capable of being a little bitch than any woman I've ever met.
I've met many of those who could use a good bitch slapping, I must say. Just wow.
Gotta keep that pimp hand strong. Ed,
Yo.
you and me need to bang heads before the poetry jam. I think we need to resurrect that idea we had for the last one.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
We need to. My half of it will be easy because of the accent. I'll be effective. So you just need to pick something where you're comfortable representing its original form.
Oh yeah. We'll break it down for him, brother.
Hell yeah. It's going to be a masterclass.
I'm just interested in videotaping the banging of the heads.
On guard.
That may increase our YouTube viewership.
And you know, every fencer has a little signature they do with their rapier. The mark of the Z. Zorro. Okay. We get serious and intellectual for a while, and then obnoxious as hell.
Yeah, a while generally being anywhere from 5 to 7 seconds. Yeah.
And the band.
It's like a fog of drunken bullshit that clears occasionally to allow these moments of intellectual clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll drink to that. Rather rapidly, it would seem.
I would, but I drank my drink up already.
Damn, man. What are you drinking tonight?
The filibusters that we did the review on.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm drinking Beck's.
21st Amendment. Right on. Is that the one? Who makes the filibuster again?
I'm not sure who bottles that.
How about you, sir? How you doing, Kevin? What are you drinking?
I'm drinking Beck's.
Oh, okay.
Not through choice, just because it was the only beer left in my fridge.
I drank a single cut. It's a microbrewery.
Nice.
Yes. It was a nice IPA, 7.5%.
Oh, very nice.
Queens, New York. Yeah, single cut. It's like Star Wars.
I got low budget CGI. That's no moon.
That's the only magic trick I know. I can make a drink disappear.
Ed, you like Star Wars, don't you?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the cut where they've taken the video of Lando Calrissian flying the Falcon, and they've overdubbed it with the audio from Rush Hour? It's him doing the "Don't You Ever Touch a Black Man's Radio"
Yes,
scene.
I have seen it. I saw it recently when I went to see the last Star Wars. We went to, and I think I talked about it on the show. It's called the Alamo Draft House.
Right.
And they serve you food and alcohol while you're watching the movie.
Oh, yeah, I remember you saying, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool as shit. Well, you know how when you go to a theater, I'm assuming it's the same way in England, there's just all this crap before the movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They don't do that at the Alamo Draft House. They show you clips of stuff related to the movie you're about to see.
Oh, okay, cool.
And that's one of the things they did. They showed all the Star Wars parodies and all that crazy stuff.
Amazing.
So yeah, that was the first time I had seen it. And yeah, it was funny.
There is a legendary one, but you kind of have to have seen the film it's from for it to make sense. There's a Guy Ritchie movie called Snatch.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the follow-on to Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, and it's got Brad Pitt in it playing an Irish pikey bare-knuckle fighter.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a character in that, an East End London gangster called Bricktop. and this guy's taken loads of scenes from the first, like the original Star Wars trilogy of Darth Vader, and overdubbed him with Bricktop's voice from the film Snatch. It's called Snatch Wars. It's just hilarious, yeah. Like Vader walking down the bit where they're in the hangar and there's all the stormtroopers lined up, and Vader's marching down the aisle through the middle of them when they're on their way to search Millennium Falcon. Things like that. The officer comes over. Vader, we've had some news. You stop me again while I'm walking, son. I'll cut your fucking jacobs off.
All right, we got another creeper. Hey, creeper, speak up.
Hey, creepers.
Introduce yourself. Say hey. Talk to us. We'll talk back.
Yeah, we'll talk to anyone. We're talking to ourselves.
We'll talk to anybody. Shit.
Everyone else could hang up. I've got beer in my hand. I'll just sit here and talk at the screen for the next 3 hours. Philosophical ramblings on life. Time for another cigarette, I think. One of my few remaining vices.
They left. Peer pressure.
Yeah. Scared them off.
All right, there she is. She's back. It's my turn.
Must have been something you said.
Apparently, cheers.
Right, here she comes. I'm out of here.
Timing is everything. Oh, man. I hear ice.
You finally trained alcoholic's ear.
That's
Resting a ice into a glass.
Is this whiskey? Is this whiskey? Yes, it's a 5-year blend. Aged 5 years. True.
It's one of the greatest things about my new job move is I've moved from a pub that sells 2 single malts to one that sells 8.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Have you tried them all?
Most of them. Some of them are fairly generic. Glenfiddich, you see that everywhere. But yeah, we've got a few nice ones there. They've got Talisker, which is one of my favourites. It's an Irish single malt, and it's got a really, really peaty back taste to it, and a wonderful aroma. It smells like burning peat bonfires. It's got that kind of smoky, charcoaly kind of smell to it. It's really nice.
Wait a minute, did y'all start the Scotch conversation without me?
We're here, baby. We're here. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. What about it? We put that in there already.
Is he reminding us? Yeah, I'm going to do this again. It's the voice, the disembodied voice of our leader from God. Saying, don't forget to poke fucking Kickstarter. There. Have it again.
He's so bossy.
Is he yelling at us?
No, he's not yelling. He wouldn't do that. We'd stop.
Oh.
He dropped the link for the Kickstarter in the group chat again, which I can only assume is his passive-aggressive way of pointing out that we're just waffling shit when we could be promoting the Kickstarter. If you're out there creeping, watching us on Twitch, look, see this shitty camera, look? See how it does you a favor and blurs my face out when I move? Yeah, we want to fix that so that you poor bastards can suffer along with the rest of the world and see me properly. So
well, we need money to fix that.
Go to that link over there, look, that pretty little black and white wink there that says Talk of the Tavern Booster. Go click on that, give us some money. Yeah, wherever, whichever side it is, I don't care. That thing over there, yeah? Go click on that. Not Ed, don't click on him, he gets excited.
Push his button.
Click on it,
just
pull on it, whatever.
Launches weapon of mass destruction.
Wasn't there a Black Death? Isn't that?
Now I'm a plague. Is that what you're telling me?
You can just take out most of Europe. Well, you're so powerful. You get an age named after you. That's amazing. It's just millions were affected.
Great. Now everybody's going to be saying, it's got AIDS.
Look out its head.
And you'll love this. Here's a little bit of local history for you. There is, on the top of one of the highest hills on the island, there's an old place called Highdown, which for ages was a government research facility. Mm-hmm. And it's actually where they designed and built the British attempt at a ballistic missile system. All the design, the construction, and the initial testing was done here on the island, and then it was launched from a site called Woomera in Australia. This is the bit you'll love, though. Do you want to know what the name was for the British ballistic missile program? They were called Black Knights.
It's always got to be black for destruction.
Yeah, man.
Death.
Well, we needed something that people are going to find scary, and there's nothing British people find scarier than black people.
Black people?
Yeah, well, you got to consider history, Ed. There's a lot of black people out there we upset in the past, We're always, now as a nation, we're always looking over our shoulder. There you go. Have a link.
Hey, oh, cool. Thanks. I'll check that out later.
Yeah. Fuck it. Here you go. Skype. Have a link. Go and check out the British ballistic missile program. Designed and built right here on the good old Isle of Wight. Because fuck it, if anything goes wrong, they're on an island. Who cares about a bunch of half-dead country hicks?
When I lived in Virginia, I lived in the Isle of Wight. That was our county.
Travis lives not that far. I think it's about 100 miles away or something. They raised that once, and I went and had a look, and it's really weird because as well as Isle of Wight County, there are towns and cities named after pretty much every recognisable port along the south coast near to me.
Yeah.
You've got Southampton, you've got Portsmouth,
Right.
And
where the D-Day landing set out from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's intriguing. You can definitely tell where Isle of Wight sailors ended up settling in the US, can't you?
Well, so many things. So many things. I'm distracted because I'm looking at. I left a free pizza party to come here, so now I'm looking at the pizza place up the street. It's open till 1.
I thought you were going to say people are sending you pictures of the pizza that turned up after you left.
Oh,
you missed it.
I should go back drunk and I want my pizza.
Give me my pizza, damn it.
Give me my pizza.
Kevin, I'm not seeing your post on Twitch.
Are you not? Oh, hang on.
That's weird.
There you go. Have it again.
There we go. Okay. There we go. Yeah, that's why I typed a little update in there to make sure it was scrolling.
Make sure it was, yeah. There you go.
Don't stop talking because I said a few words. Damn.
So I
can't hear the fucking conversation.
I'm getting out of here.
I was getting lost looking at pictures of your Black Knight there. She's an impressive looking beast for her age.
Long and sleek and
capable of destroying people in other countries.
Interesting though, they sent it to Australia to test it.
Yeah.
We ain't touched that shit here.
I can only assume it's something to do with the launch trajectory. Like if you fire anything into the sky from Britain, it just ends up in the cosmic equivalent of the Bermuda Triangle. Right, I'm going to go
All right.
because I've run out of beer and it's 2:30 in the morning.
All right. I need to go. I got to rewrite.
All right. Good night, kids.
Good
Thanks
night,
for
everyone.
stalking us on Twitch, you weirdos.
Yeah.
We'll speak to you guys later. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.